I'm Nicola and I'm a parent champion for the Anna Freud Centre. I'm very proud to be a champion. Just raising awareness of mental health issues really, especially in schools, and what schools can do with parents and carers to just raise awareness of it really and deal with issues. Also from my own background as a child and my son's experiences at school, just to give you a little bit of information about what I've been through and what he's been through in order to try and raise that awareness. When I was at school, there wasn't really much interaction between the school and my parents. It was generally end of term reports and then that was it. So my parents both came from disadvantaged backgrounds. My dad was an orphan, my mum grew up in a foster home. So they never really had any parenting experiences, and the schools then didn't have any experience themselves of giving feedback to my parents. So as such, it kind of affected me and my siblings. In addition to that, my son, he's such a sensitive boy, and when he was 5 years old, we decided to move his school. We thought it'd be straightforward, easy to slot in. He's got very good communication skills, so we thought if there was ever a problem, he could just tell us. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Within a few days, he started vomiting every evening. You don't know what it is. Has he eaten something strange, or is it something going on at school? And the school, unfortunately, not being aware of mental health issues, they just put it down to perhaps nerves, or to be honest with you, they weren't really sure what the problem was. So having spoken to him, we managed to change a few things at school that we realised were worrying him. Just things like his coat peg in the cloakroom was far away. So in the mornings, it was quite kind of chaotic. He would go in and try and hang his coat up and then try and get back to class, but be a couple of minutes late. So the teacher would tell him off. He would then be so worried about making it in time for school, into the classroom, he'd then forget his book and have to go back. And I think coming from a home where he wasn't used to being told off, it was kisses and cuddles, to then go into this environment where it's, you are late, and being told off was quite frightening for him. So I think it would have been very helpful at that time for schools to be aware that it's not only, obviously it could have been a health issue, but it could also be a mental health issue, and it's not a taboo subject anymore. We can talk about it, and we need to talk about it. Because rather than just brush over it, oh, he's just feeling a little bit nervous or whatever, just simple things like talking to the parents and raising our awareness of it and their awareness of it meant that we could change his life for the better, help him realise what he was going through, and just make it a lot easier for him. So, which we eventually did, and he's very happy now. So, I think in order to engage parents and carers, it's very important that you let yourself known to be approachable. So at school, pick up time, you make sure that you have eye contact with parents or carers, let them know that they can come and see you with any concerns, and vice versa, because obviously teachers are very busy at the moment, and people do tend to worry that you don't have time for issues, and it's important to let them know that you actually do. And therefore, I'd also say to make sure you make them aware that you are available. So rather than just say, oh, if there are any issues or problems, do come and see me, let them know when they can come and see you. I think it's quite important that they're aware of that. I think another thing would be to read the situation. So when you are talking to the parent or carer, you gauge what their reaction is on their face. They might be surprised at what you're saying, they might be concerned, or they might just be completely in denial. So, keep at it and talk to them about what you think the issues are, as well as being open-minded, because it's important to realise that each child is an individual. My son was very sensitive, and some teachers may have just labelled him as being sensitive. That could be a nature thing, it could be a nurture thing, it could be a combination of both. But you have to get to know that individual rather than just making assumptions, I'd say, in what you're saying to the parents. And I think the only other thing I would say is to persevere. So rather than just give up and, you've spoken to a parent or carer and, not much has happened since then, to follow it up and persevere, and to make sure that you make them aware that you do actually care. Mental health is no longer a taboo subject, as I said. It's something very important, something we can talk about, and something that we all suffer from. Whether we want to say it or we don't, we do. and it's important that schools get together with parents and carers and not resolve the problems, but make sure everybody knows that it is normal and that we can overcome it. We just need to talk about it. I definitely recommend that schools look at the pamphlet that the Anna Freud Centre produces on engaging parents and carers. It offers some excellent tips in how to speak to parents and carers, things you may not have even thought of, and it also helps you understand mental health a bit more, so you can be your best in dealing with mental health, which in turn helps children be their best too. Another thing I'd recommend schools do is enrol in the Anna Freud Schools in Mind programme, which gives schools training, it invites them to events, as well as providing evidence-based resources. It helps highlight what mental issues are and how schools can deal with it, and more importantly, how to engage carers and parents.